Hello and welcome to another Dragon Ball FighterZ video. Today we have a character breakdown for Jiren. The strongest warrior in all the universes. That's right, I said it. Android 17 won the Tournament of Power, Goku went Ultra Instinct and all, but they needed to team up just to take the one guy. Don't even at me, Jiren is the strongest warrior in Dragon Ball, and he's weird as in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And it all starts with a bunch of weird normals which we're gonna list right now. His down light isn't a low attack. I know that's a deal breaker for a lot of you, but this thing scales really well. It's got medium attack level scaling, which means Jiren's got an extra medium attack to put into combos. Yes, it means he doesn't have as much mix-up as he could have, but he's got some mean damage if done optimal. His jumping M is 2 hits, nothing special there, just keep in mind that it is 2 hits, so if you want to go for optimal damage, let those 2 hits roll. His heavy attack is actually a command grab, so it wins the award for the easiest command grab in the entire game, since you just have to press one button. And his down heavy punches the opponent to his back. So if you want to punish a super dash with your regular 2H, keep in mind that you're gonna side switch your target. There are ways to not do this, but first let's talk about his 2H while jumping. This thing is a dive kick that can be charged, so it's mostly gonna be used as a combo finisher. Because his heavy attacks are so weird, he's gonna be using a lot of his specials. His down special, for instance, it acts just like a down heavy. It also has smash properties, it counters aerial attacks, so it's very helpful in case you want to keep the opponent on the same side as you react to an aerial attack. You don't have to lose the corner. And even in the air, his specials allow you to extend combos very nicely, since you can always follow up a key blast with a super dash, assuming the hit stun isn't too crazy. Teen Gohan loops, anyone? How about this corner carry distance? Oh, and don't worry, thanks to his down special followed by a down heavy combination, you can always get a sliding knockdown if you reach the corner. With his weird normals out of the way, let's talk about his specials. First of all, we have the Infinity Rush. Jiren gives you a mean stare that hits you multiple times, bouncing the opponent into a wall. You can do this move on the ground or in the air, and the different attack buttons will make the opponent bounce in a different way. The light attack version is faster and doesn't eat your smash attack, but it is harder to pick up the combo from the light attack version. Still, in a block string you can use this ability after your medium attacks and everything is airtight, there are no gaps. So with a good assist, you can use this to go for some good mix-ups. The medium attack version will eat your smash attack, but it's so much easier to combo from. And if you're in the corner, you can combo into it without even using your assists. You know, as long as your opponent's hit stun isn't too crazy. This will help you land some high damaging combos, and it's also what you'll most likely be using if you're trying to snap back the opponent in the corner, because this special gives Jiren the ability to do that, a snapback without spending meter. Other characters in the game have it already, but it's always a nice tool to have in your team. And then we have the heavy attack version, which allows Jiren to do this. Yeah, that's the same side, Dragon Rush, which works anywhere on stage. Yes, it costs 1 bar of meter, but you usually spend that anyway when you do a vanish into Dragon Rush, but that forces you to switch sides. Jiren here, he's able to choose. He can side switch with his normal combo into vanish or just stay on the same side. It all costs exactly the same. On the ground, this thing even allows you to combo without the use of assists, and it has some pretty good range. You can catch some unaware fools with this one. Finally, this attack is also Jiren's assist. It leaves the opponent blocking for a decent amount of time, though it's not something that will help you win the neutral a lot. It's definitely a solid assist for pressure and even for combos, because this thing wall bounces without spending your smash. It's similar to base Goku's assist in that regard, but for neutral, I think he needed a little bit more range. Next up, we have a counter move with Shock Tornado. Jiren puts his hands up, and while his hands are up, you better not attack, or you're going for a spinny ride, buddy. Now, you may notice the difference between the light and the medium attack versions. It's fairly obvious. In the light attack version, Jiren is standing up, and in the medium attack version, Jiren is crouching. So when you want to counter your opponent, you don't just input the command and counter anything they throw at you. You have to read where they're gonna attack from. The light attack version, which is the one where he stands up, will counter both overhead attacks and medium attacks. And the medium attack version will only counter the low attacks. That's right, if you do the crouching version of this move and the opponent just does a standing attack on you, you will get hit in the face. This thing isn't just vulnerable to overheads, medium attacks also get through it. So if you use this version of the parry, you better be sure that your opponent is gonna throw a low attack. Or if you can't tell what's coming, you can always just use the heavy attack version, which covers all 3 options, but it does cost 1 bar of meter as usual. It's pretty tough to combo from a counter though. Because of this cinematic attack, you cannot call an assist for a while. So if you want to combo without vanishing, you better have a really fast assist. Oh, and forget about projectiles. These counters do not work against projectiles. not any of those. It's melee attacks only, and yes, that includes Frieza's attacks because all of those count as projectiles. To counter those projectiles, you're gonna use our next special attack, the Counter Impact. This one is specific to projectiles. Jiren will catch them, absorb them, and then return them to their original owner like a FedEx intern trying too hard to prove his worth. This thing eats all types of projectiles, and the game freezes when you successfully parry one of them, so Jiren will flawlessly teleport to your opponent no matter where he is. And now that I've said it's flawless, it's only a matter of time until someone glitches this thing or finds some way to counter it. And before you ask, no, it does not eat any supers. Are you crazy? Jiren would have to use both hands for that, and he's too busy looking cool to use both hands. And then we have Jiren's final ability, which is the Grand Charge, which has nothing grand about it, really. It's a really small charge, and you can only combo from it if you call an assist. It only works on the ground, so it's not even that good for finishing combos, and the damage is meh. The only special thing it does is go through projectiles, be it Ki Blast or high priority projectiles. This charge just goes through them. But to deal with projectiles, you already have the Counter Impact, which deals more damage. The only situations where I can see this move being used is if you're doing a block string and you're out of assists, you're out of options, you can go for this move because it's the only special move by Jiren that is safe. So you can use this and go back to blocking, I guess. Or since it doesn't eat your smash attack, it could be very useful for some sparking combos. Moving on to his supers, Jiren's got 2 level 1 supers and a level 3. Our first level 1, the Colossal Slash, is a projectile that is thrown forwards and down in case Jiren is in the air. It travels full screen if you're on the ground, but if you're in the air, your opponent better be under you, otherwise you'll just miss the super. And as you could probably already tell, this super can be done both in the air and on the ground. It has pretty good range, but if you're on the ground next to your opponent, I'd recommend using our next super, which is the Colossal Uppercut, simply because it deals more damage, be it raw or in a combo. Its range is indeed pretty limited, you have to be in your opponent's face, but hey, if you are, this one deals more damage than our previous super. Plus, this is pretty much his range for his level 3 super, the Blazing Magnetron. Look at this activation, it's also very close range and it's only available on the ground. But it's not as bad as a command grab super, for instance. This one, if you land a smash attack, you can still throw your level 3, you don't need to do any fancy vanish into level 3 tricks like Trunks. And it gives you a pretty good Oki afterwards, so hey, there's that. As far as auto combos go, this is what happens when you press the light attack button. The third hit of the auto combo has a bit of vacuum, which means it will auto correct the enemy's position to make sure the third hit will land. You might be familiar with this concept from the second hit of Bardock's and Vegito's auto combo. Well, in Jiren, it's the third hit, which won't be as annoying, I think, but it does allow him to use auto combos after vanishing pretty easily. That doesn't seem to be the optimal way to end a vanish combo, but hey, if it's a laggy situation, this one might save you. And when you press the medium attack button, he does this. And now that we know his abilities, here are some tips on how to use Jiren. Now, Jiren doesn't seem like he has a lot of mix-up options. You're gonna have to use a lot of the stuff that every character can use. You can go for overheads or double overheads, go into dragon rushes and hide them in cool places because he doesn't have a lot of lows, which means the opponent can safely just stand up and block your stuff. Your mix-ups are mainly gonna come from cross-ups and that command grab of yours. Everything else you can use to mix up your opponent are options that are available to every other character. So as far as mix-up goes, Jiren's not the strongest, especially if he's running solo. He's got great damage, but if he's the last remaining member on a team, you might have a really hard time opening up your opponent. Unless you're very confident in your reading abilities. Do not run Jiren as an anchor unless you feel super confident that you're able to counter and punish your opponent. Because while Jiren doesn't have mix-up, it does have a lot of counter moves. So if you feel confident that you can read your opponent and bait him to press buttons, then Jiren will be a fantastic anchor. But you really have to be spot on regarding your reads. You have to read projectiles, overheads, medium attacks, and low attacks and respond with a different command. Because all of Jiren's counters are gonna need you to specify what kind of attack are you expecting. Are you expecting an overhead or a low or a projectile? And if you read it wrong and Jiren's your anchor, you're not gonna get a lot of chances to get that right. More often, I believe you'll find Jiren is at his most useful when he's at his point or mid positions. And I say point or mid because his assist is actually not bad at all. I think it lacks the range to be a good neutral assist, but it causes a decent amount of block stun and it comes out really fast. It's great for confirming combos and great for block strings. But just like most of the roster, Jiren's just gonna shine brighter when he has assists to back him up. The assists are what's gonna provide you to have some mix-up options. The multiple overheads, the cross-ups, hiding command grabs. Ultimately, that's what's gonna make Jiren strong, especially if you show some vulnerability to the opponent and they feel like they can punish you, that's when you use that counter. Now, because Jiren doesn't have a lot of mix-up, you gotta make sure you take the most advantage out of every single counter opportunity you have. And that's not to say you should spam your counter abilities, that's to say that if you counter, make sure to convert well. Jiren can deal a lot of damage even from a vanish situation. Jiren can put a lot of enemies into the corner no matter the position he's in. So that should always be your priority. Either go for the kill or go for the corner pressure. And while he's in the corner, while his mix-up might not be crazy scary, his damage certainly is. So use that to put the fear of Jiren in your opponent's hearts, and once they're scared, they're vulnerable to your mix-up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes Jiren the most powerful warrior in Dragon Ball.
お前たちに勝ち目などない。諦めろ。
Thank you very much for watching our character breakdown for Jiren. Apologies for my voice, it's still in recovery, but it's much better. I hope it recovers even more for Videl's breakdown that we're gonna have tomorrow. Special thanks to all the premium bushes who support the videos on this channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this at all. So this breakdown is brought to you by them. You too can become a premium member. Just head over to Patreon, check out what option suits you the most. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.